Happy birthday to me. And just holding the mic in my hand today, even after I complained about how I was being ironic doing that because I see a lot of influencers now holding the mic in their hand, and it just seems silly when it's like a lav mic that would be pinned onto your clothing. But it's a bit windy today, and I forgot to bring my wind cover. It's my birthday today, and also my father's birthday today. Born on my dad's birthday, and I don't know if that was a good birthday gift or a terrible birthday gift. I'm sure throughout the years he's been back and forth on that. We haven't always had the greatest relationship, but he's in his late 80s now. He was a lot older when he had me. And I can tell he kind of wants to rebuild the relationship now, which is fine. I mean, we didn't really get along for many, many years for a lot of reasons. Some I've mentioned in previous videos, but yeah, I'm not going to hold it against him. He is who he is. He was born in a very different era than I was born in, so I get it. We think and see the world very differently. And I don't know if this happens to everybody, but maybe. But definitely not a midlife crisis, but I'm finding right now, 52 today, and I find that I'm looking back a lot on my past. And I'm already generally a very nostalgic person, and I'm definitely feeling very nostalgic over the last week or two as I approach this birthday. And I'm not somebody that really cares about age. I don't really think about my age. I mean, partly because I'm still fit and I still play sports and do all the things I used to do. But can't help but thinking, once you've passed a half century, and pretty confident at this point at 52. I don't think I'm going to live to 104. You never know. But pretty confident that I'm past halfway, and you can't help but think about the past. Just out here on what they call the brow path, on the mountain brow. We're up on the mountain, as they say in Hamilton, but the mountain is actually just the escarpment. And as you can see, there's Hamilton proper down below me, and there's the harbor that leads out to Lake Ontario, and Lake Ontario in the background there. And absolutely beautiful out today. And after I'm done with the walk, I'm heading back to cut the grass and then play some video games. And I'm not usually a video game kind of guy, but recently in television, Atari and Coleco were kind of the three big games, like consoles when I was a kid, and Atari actually just really re-released the Mattel Intellivision unit, and I managed to pick one up. Bit of a start-stop kind of video today because this is a very busy path in the nice weather, which it is today. So there's a lot of people out walking. We're just literally the last week or so, it's felt like we finally pulled out of winter here, and everybody's out now. Everybody. It's been wonderful. It's like the whole area comes back to life after the cold winter where everybody's been hiding indoors. So although my wife and I are separated, we still live together and we still care about each other and we're still best friends. And she got me the Intellivision Sprint, so this retro console that's been put back out, and now it comes loaded with all the games on, so there's no cartridges to put in. And if you're from the 80s, you remember, hey man, the cartridge isn't working. You pull the cartridge out and you blow inside the cartridge and then plug it back in, and the cartridge often worked because it was just dusty. So all the games are loaded on, which is super cool. And now there's no corded controllers. The controllers are like Bluetooth, and it actually plugs in through HDMI, so you can use it on modern TVs, but super cool. And I can't wait to get home and relax today and relive being 12 years old in my parents' basement playing video games on a Saturday morning. It also got me thinking about all kinds of things that I'm sort of nostalgic about, and it got me kind of triggered a lot of memories and thoughts of when I was a kid and what my summers would be like. I mean, when I was a kid, we spent 90% of our time playing outdoors. So I would get up on Saturday mornings and I'd say to my mom, "Where's Dad?" And she'd give me the usual answer, "Where do you think?" And where was Dad? Dad was downstairs. Dad was playing in television. So he got the Intellivision. I think he really got the Intellivision for himself. He was really kind of excited about these home video game consoles, and we have tons of cartridges. My dad still has this game, the original Intellivision, and I borrowed it a while ago, but it doesn't work well on modern TVs. You need a cathode ray tube television set, the old style, for it to really work properly. So that was one of the nice things with this retro model, is that it's now formatted and works well on like modern TVs through HDMI. But he'd be downstairs playing. Dungeons and Dragons was his favorite, or Lock and Chase, which was like the Mattel version of Pac-Man. And I would play Saturday mornings for maybe 2-3 hours, and then I'd be out the rest of the day, right? We would go out, we'd play war, run around like we were soldiers. We were just outside all day, and that's the way it was back in the 80s when I grew up. And when I get home, I have to cut the grass because it's been growing like crazy. We've had a lot of rain lately. And that's one of the other things I remember, because, I'd have the windows in the basement open. I'd be down the stairs. While I was having breakfast, I would watch some Saturday morning cartoons for about half an hour, and then I'd play some video games. And during that time, you could smell fresh cut grass, because back in the 80s when I grew up, it was like, I don't know, maybe not, but it felt like 90% of people worked 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, weekends off. It was like that classic time. So, Saturday mornings, you'd hear lawnmowers all over the neighborhood. People would be cutting their grass because that's what you did on a Saturday morning. And I would play video games, and then I'd go out with my friends. In the summer, my parents had a pool, in-ground pool, so we'd be in the pool. But life was a lot simpler back then, and I think this video game system just sort of represents those simpler times, right? And, I have buddies that collect skateboards from when we were growing up back in the 80s, and I think this is a very common thing for, I'm going to say men. I'm sure women too, but I find it's more men, or maybe that's just because most of my friends are men and we talk. But we all sort of, around this age, man, we all started getting very nostalgic about our childhood and the 80s and things from the 80s and collecting things from the 80s. And I'm not so much a collector of things as I am of memories, which is partly why I make so many videos. And over the last few years, I've been making these documentaries. Well, I'll call them documentaries, about my life. And it sounds very narcissistic, but it's not meant to be. That's not what the goal was. They were really for me. And I made a video on the history of my professional skateboard career. I made another video on the history of all of the athletics and sports I participated in. I made a video on the history of all the music studios I've had leading up till today. And for me, it was more about documenting all of this stuff. Like, I'm just at this age where, like, I'm looking back and I kind of want to recap my whole life. And I think I've been doing that through documenting. I've sort of been documenting my life through video for many, many years. And it was really just a chance to sort of put all of this together as like a montage so that I could look back on these memories. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my walk with the dogs out here in the sunshine along the escarpment. It's a beautiful day. And you know what? Don't love cutting the grass, but I'll say this. It's a beautiful day for cutting the grass, and the first one of the season. And then time to put my feet up and enjoy some retro video games, some great 8-bit fun for the afternoon. And hopefully, if you're in this area or wherever you are, if there's nice weather, you get out there today, because it's been a long, cold winter and we've been waiting for this for a long time. See you in another video.